PaisleyPodcastJuice.net.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to the Prince Podcast here on Podcast Juice. We got the environmental records playing in the background so you can hear all that stuff going on. So we're giving you a little taste of Minneapolis. So bear with us as you hear the church bells in the background. But my name is Michael Dean, and we've got a special guest with us today, Ronchelle. Let me make sure I say the last name right. Ndegeocello? Is that how you say it?
Well, I changed it. So my whole name is Ronchelle Nelson. That's my whole name.
Say word? Your last name is Nelson?
Yeah.
Okay. Very interesting. Very interesting. Now, Ronchelle, for some of you Prince fans who have been keeping up, there was a video that went on Facebook. It was a Facebook Live video, I believe, of Ronchelle. And Ronchelle was a Paisley Park tour guide, right? And I would rather have her tell the story of what went on with that and why she is currently not a tour guide. So Ronchelle, what happened?
Yeah, so I'll tell you the story what happened. So it was a group of us. It was about 5 of us. We were all tour guides. 4 of us were tour guides. One was a person from the front desk. And what we did was, it's the job. We can take photos there, so we are allowed to take photos in the Studio B area and the same area that all other VIP guests, can take a photo. And so we decided to take a photo. And we were all off the clock. There were photos taken that was taken before I got in there, so I only came in on the last round, so I got fired for the last 2 photos that I was in. The people who fired us, they said that those photos were inappropriate that we took, but the photos that I took was not inappropriate. The photos that I was in, we did just like a regular pose in front of Prince, and then we made a pyramid in front of his photo, and we were not touching any of the artifacts. It was in an approved space. We even paid for the flash drive that we took the photos on. And now a lot of people have a lot of misconceptions. When I posted that video, they thought we took them with the cell phones, and I clearly stated that we did not take pictures with cell phones. We took it in a approved photo place, and they just said they were inappropriate, and so they just fired us. And I guess it's legal for them to do so because Minnesota is an at-will employment state. Okay. So they can fire you for any reason at any time. But prior than that, we had, none of us had any disciplinary action. We were actually getting accolades. We didn't even know, that we were under investigation, like they were trying to figure out what to do with us. We didn't even know that because they didn't even, let us know of the situation that was going on in the first place. So just out of the blue, they call you up and tell you to come up there, and you're fired, and you just got rave reviews from the GM, from the manager, to put you on these new things that they were going to do on Paisley Park. And then the next day you come up there and they just send you away. So it's like none of your hard work, matters. All they're worried about, is making Paisley Park into like just a well-oiled money making machine. It's like you can tell that that's all they want to do, no matter how much passion that you put into it, no matter how much time that you put into it, just for any reason. If they don't like it, they get rid of you at any time. So
all right, let me ask you a couple questions. Now, how long had you have worked there?
So I worked there over 2 months, so I was past my probation period.
Okay. And I got to ask this because we've talked about the tour guides there before. We've had other fans who have went there and done the tours. And some of the feedback is, my particular tour guide, they wasn't very, knowledgeable about Prince. Questioned if they was actually fans and things of that nature. Now, were you a Prince fan before working there?
Yeah, yes, way, way before. You can ask, I don't know who y'all are friends with, but ask Marcus Scott, ask all them other people. Okay. I was around.
And I mean, what drove you to want to work there? Were you living there already, and then you said, "Oh, this opportunity," or is it what happened? How did you start working there? I'm just curious.
So y'all don't really know me too well, but for people who do know me, they know that I'm kind of a nomad anyway. I've lived all over, and so I was just coming back from overseas. You know, I had a job in Boston, but once I heard that Paisley Park was hiring again, I took my chances and went out there to do the interview. And so I got the job on the spot at that. So my first interview, I got the job. We did the paperwork, and I just had to wait, you know, for all the final stuff to come through, the background check and all that good stuff. And so then I picked up and moved out to Minneapolis for this job.
Okay. Now, one of the things that really caught my ear on that video you posted was you were saying that they let go of most of the people of color, aka black folks. So I'm asking you, are you still standing behind that, and why do you think they let you guys go? Was it just for the pictures, or was there anything else going on? I'm just a little curious.
Well, I said that because you can see a big ratio difference in the people of color and from the other people who work there. And, you know, the people that Prince had working there, they were people of color. You know, at least most of them were. And some of those people are gone. They have been demoted, and Graceland is putting in their people on top of there. So it's just, you just, you know, it's kind of like, and I can say I never felt racially discriminated, you know, in the place. I haven't. But just seeing that, you know, and they're firing us with no explanation, with just, you know, just getting rid of us out of the blue with no warning, no probation, no anything. And, you know, and the majority of us were people of color. Not all of us are black, but we were people of color. So one lady, she was Filipino. But they did fire the one white person that was in the photo with us, too. So I still stand behind that they are trying to get rid of, you know, the diversity of the place and trying to make it into their image and their view of what they want it to become. Graceland is trying to make it more like Elvis's place. So you can even tell how they're getting rid of all the little loose end stuff, because it looks like, you know, they're probably, you know, in the meantime going to get rid of tour guides, because it's just like how Elvis, you know, all you have is the audio. But I doubt that the family would let them do that anyway. So, but you know, they're just making it into something that it wasn't before. Do you get what I'm saying?
No, I feel where you're coming from. Again, so you have the inside scoop, because again, you worked there. I mean, what was the vibe of, you know, the employees and everyone there, though? I mean, what was? I mean, were you guys like hyped every day about Prince, or what do you feel like Graceland was bringing to the table?
You know, we was hyped every day about Prince, but we wasn't hyped about the things that we could and couldn't do. The tour guides were happy to be there because it was Prince's house, and we were coming in there to, you know, and the reason that I came in there because I heard that they were getting so many negative reviews, and so that's why I came in there to try to change the perception. You know, if you don't like something, come in and change it. And so that's what I was trying to do by being in there. And you can tell that I did, because even though I said on the video that we were some of their best tour guides, those weren't just my words. Those were the words of the acting GM at the time. Those were the words of the acting tour manager at the time. You know, we got that from those higher up people, that they were thanking us for coming in there and bringing our passion to the place, because they did see a change in a lot of the reviews that we had going on there.
Wow. Now, so I got
lost my train of thought. Yeah.
No, you're good. You're good. I want to make sure the other hosts, you guys, anybody have another question they want to ask?
No, I'm good.
Okay. What were so I'm curious then. So you started working there 2 months ago, right? And there was 5 people that got fired. Was that right?
Yeah, 5 of us.
Okay. What was, you know, because I want to get as much as I can understand. Like, what was like your work schedule? Did you work there like Monday through Friday, or are you doing? What, you know, how did they have you guys working?
Yeah. All of us were full time. Okay. And then we were understaffed at that. So I can just imagine how they're feeling now, because they fired, you know, most of their full-time people. And most of the people who work there are part-time, because Paisley Park does not pay enough, you know, to keep those tour guides there for a full-time basis. But all of my work schedule is basically Monday through Friday. They're closed on Wednesday. So every day except those days I was there.
Are you comfortable
except for the days that they were closed?
Are you comfortable telling what was the pay? What would a person get being as a tour guide there, pay wise?
So I won't say the pay just in case they're listening, but I can say that you could go to the Burger King down the street and make more money.
Damn. Okay.
Wow.
And make more money than what they were paying there. And then, you know, Paisley Park is far out, and so, you know, I moved here, and so I did not have a car. So I was either taking a 2-hour bus ride to go out there every single day, 2 hours there and back. And on weekends, the buses did not run. So I was paying about $20 to $25 per ride to get out there back and forth. So about $45 a day just to get to and from work on weekends, and taking a 2-hour bus ride there and back. So it was like, and you just feel very unappreciated, that they did that. And my photos, they were not inappropriate. You can find anybody else's photo, any other regular guest photo that looks just as similar as my photo, and it was not inappropriate. And I can say that it wasn't the people. I heard that the people over us, so our manager over us, he did try to fire for us, but it was the overhead that wanted to fire us. So those Graceland people, that Graceland HR, those are the people that just wanted to get rid of us.
I mean, so when they brought you in, and I'm not to make a joke of it, but I'm understanding it was on your day off, right? Mm-hmm. So it was kind of like on Friday.
On your day off.
that's a cold piece of work right there.
How you get fired on your day off? Exactly. Over
some pictures.
Like, at least you could have waited till I was on schedule or something, and exactly over some pictures. And it was crazy to me because just that Tuesday, they was telling me how thankful they was that I was there. Just that Tuesday, they was taking me through some new things that they were going to do at Paisley Park, and they wanted me to give that experience to people. And so that's why, I was so angry at that. And that's why I was so upset, because how could you say all these things to me, and then, the next day you call me in on my day off to come and fire me, No,
that's
what I just didn't get. And that's what made me so angry. Yeah.
Was there a situation maybe where they had to let one of the other persons go, and it would have been like, well, if you let this person go for it, we're going to have to let them all go for it. Otherwise, it could be something. I mean, just speculating. I don't know. But because you said all the pictures were appropriate. They weren't something, y'all weren't doing nothing crazy. But was it just the fact that you guys took the picture? Well, I guess they told you it wasn't because you took the picture. It was because the picture was inappropriate. Was that the reasoning they gave you? Or?
Yeah, but my photos weren't, and one of the big things is that we didn't even know that we were in trouble. We didn't even know, that they was going through the process of trying to figure out what to do with us. And they didn't even ask, like anybody's side of the story. They just came and fired us. And so some of those pictures that were taken before, I'm not going to try to bring anybody down, but I wasn't in those pictures before. So I shouldn't be held accountable for what was in those pictures before. I wasn't even in the room at that. I was doing a tour. And once I finished my tour, I clocked out and came in and did the 2 pictures that I was in.
Now, how did they find out about these pictures?
I think one of the people who's in the photos put them on social media. But she didn't put all of them on there. I think she only put a couple on there. I'm not for sure. But they wasn't even on there for long either, I don't think. So, because I don't remember seeing them after like a day. Okay.
Now, just as a general sort of a learning moment for other people when they jobs and stuff. So it sounded like the job was monitoring somebody's social media, and they saw exactly. Yeah, man. See.
Yeah. Exactly.
So, what are you able to now? So again, you work there. You were in Paisley Park. You were a Prince fan. You get to come into that place on an everyday, full-time basis. What does it feel like to be in there when everyone else ain't there? It's just y'all. I mean, do you get to look at the stuff, or just are you trip out that you are in there?
So the first couple of weeks, you just happy that you're in there, and then you start to get the feeling that, okay, it is a job, because you got all these rules and restrictions against you, a lot of things that you could and couldn't do. We didn't get to see anything extra. We couldn't go anywhere. They were always watching us, telling us what we could and couldn't do. Even though we were full-time, they would still cut our hours regularly, so it was a strict place. It was, no incentive, no employee of the month program, nothing like that was in there to set up, to make us happy for being there. Like, it was kind of like our, what do you call it? What's the word for it? You should be happy that you're here because you were at Prince house. That was it. So, they didn't give us anything from that, We didn't get no discount.
No extra pancakes and nothing like that, or nothing, huh?
No. So we got discount on the food. Sometimes they gave us the leftover when they couldn't sell it, but
wow.
That's about it. That's about it. Yeah. So we got nothing extra. Got to see nothing extra. So
did y'all now?
No, we only saw what the people saw.
Okay. Now, did you guys work? They have was it Paisley Park After Dark thing, where they'd have the stuff on the weekend? Did you work during those periods as well when they did tours?
No, we didn't. No, we didn't have to work those. We would give the tour, but we would just sit the people in the MPG Music Club room. So no, we didn't have to work those events. It was the security people that stayed and worked those events.
Oh, okay. Y'all wasn't getting overtime.
Mm-hmm. Nope, they didn't. They didn't let us get overtime. Nope.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Rochelle, I don't know if you noticed, but there was a big album release over the past couple of days by Jay-Z, and one particular song, it caught their eyes. He made some remarks about how Paisley Park is being run. Do you have any comments to what he said? Particularly, you greedy bastards sold tickets to walk through his house.
Now, I agree to an extent because they are being greedy about it because what they're doing is not genuine. So I understand Paisley Park being a museum because if it wasn't a museum, I couldn't, it would just be sitting there. And I couldn't imagine Paisley Park being like that, So I agree to it to an extent that they are greedy and they are just trying to, get the money out of it and seeing how much money they can make out of it. But as for Paisley Park being a museum, I feel like that is what it should be. His legacy should be on display so it can keep on going and keep other people, in the know. Because that was one of the things that I loved about the job is when you got non-Prince fans coming in or people who only knew Purple Rain and didn't know that he came out, with a whole vast collection of albums and songs after that. You got to shape and change that perspective for them, and that's was one of the things that I loved about him because you got to be that person, who changed their minds about Prince, who made him look a little bit more deeper into his music and what he was all about, and not just him, becoming the artist or changing his name, not just him and the little outfits, and not just him, they're questioning his sexuality. You got them to really change their shift and their focus on what he was doing and actually, help them focus on the music and, just shape their whole image of them. Right. And that's one of the things that I loved about the job and I used to tell that to people after my tour, I left you on a higher vibration, I left you feeling good. And it was true because people said that. People emailed and told people that,
wow,
I got to help people heal. And so that's one thing that I really, really love, doing about that job because, I help people get through it. And that job was a healing process for me. And, and even though those higher ups are just in it for the money, for the people who was in there doing the grunt work, it meant something more, and just to be treated like, even though you put so much work into it, you put so much effort into it, just for doing something that was not against the handbook, they could just let you go so quick and so easy. And for something that you were so passionate about. And, and I sat outside before I made the video. I sat outside of Paisley for a good hour or so, and after I made the video, I just walked around Chanhassen for a good 3 hours or so because I was so dumbfounded. I didn't know what to do because, I switched my whole life up to come to that job. I had a plan. It was something I was passionate about. It was something that I wanted to work my way up in because I wanted it to become a great place, and they just go and do you like that. And it just shows you how those overhead people, they don't really care. And I'm not blaming the family. I'm not blaming nothing because they're doing what they had to do to turn it into a museum because they got to pay for the place. But,
right.
It's that overhead people that's doing all that,
Yeah, so that's why I want to really get the story out here because I know there's a lot of fans who would love and who are inspired to do what you have done. They really know they print stuff. They really want to make sure the legacy is done properly, and they want to get involved. They want to, let me, when they see those things on Facebook, they're hiring. Oh, no, I'm going to sign up. I will, they have to hire me. I'm the fan, God damn it. And I feel that, and I feel what you did and the reasons why you went in there. But the reality is when like you said, it's a job. And just like any other job, they're there, end of the day, they're for their benefit, not yours.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You mean to say it's a business?
There you go, Billy.
It's a business.
It's a business. You ain't the fuck gotta see that yet.
It's a business.
But I wanted to ask you.
They, like I said in the video, they colonizing on his legacy.
Wow.
They just coming in and making it what they want it to be. They just, turn it into something like, even in the tours, we weren't allowed to go off script and give a little bit more detail. They didn't want us to do that.
That's what I wanted to ask you about. I wanted to ask you about that. Because again, now you are coming in with a lot of knowledge about Prince, but I want to know what's the schooling like? What's the education like for the lady or the man who don't know nothing about Prince, but this is a job. I've had some hospitality training before. I want to be a tour guide here, but all I know is Purple Rain. How do they educate those people to give the tour?
You get a script and you get some facts. That's what you got.
Wow.
That's what you got. And so that's why you got all those negative reviews about people not knowing anything, because they didn't. You got a script and you got some facts. That's what you got. That's what you got.
So, I mean, what do they say to you then if I'm sure that's why I want to know, what's the training like? It can't be just a script. There's got to be some sort of training. Are they like, here are all of his albums at least? Or I'm just trying to understand.
Well, that's on the fact sheet, like the name and the date of that album. That's on the fact sheet. But no, it's literally, that's what you get. It's no like Prince training course. It was none of that. It was none of that. Maybe they sent out some YouTube links once, but it was none of that. None of that. None of that.
Okay. Well, see, I have a problem with that. I have a problem with that because, again, it's a museum. Museums are supposed to teach and educate. So if the people that's there ain't educated, how they going to teach? You feel me?
Exactly.
So I have a problem with that.
Exactly.
Man. So what's next for you?
Exactly. And that's what we was in there trying to do. That's what I'm trying to figure out now.
I feel you.
So I've been going through it these last couple of days, but I'm trying to figure it out. And it's not so hard, but it's hard because I was so passionate about it. And it's hard because it's something that I really wanted to do. And I'm heartbroken, and that was the main thing, is because I was happy. I was happy doing the job, even though they was running it some different way. I was in the groundwork. I was that face-to-face person that got to interact with those people on a daily basis, and I love that. And I got to talk about Prince every day, and I love that, And, I got, like you said, I got to teach people. I got to educate people, and so I really loved it. So I don't know what's next. I'm kind of a nomad anyway, so it don't matter where I go, what I do. I'm open to anything, but I have no idea at this moment. Yeah, no idea.
I haven't.
Go ahead, man. You got it.
I have another question. Since you have been working there for a couple of months, is there anything that they added that you know wasn't there prior to turning it into a museum? And is there any? And I just want to know, what was your favorite item?
Ooh, okay. So that's hard. Okay, my favorite item they had on display. Well, okay, first to what they added, so that Less Sexy Room is a new addition. They added the Super Bowl outfit to the Super Bowl room. What else did they add? They put some new guitars out on display. It's just like little things here and there, but they've been taking a lot of stuff away also, like all the little loose stuff that they had. My favorite plays and my favorite item in there is his box guitar that he had on that Hit and Run tour. That's one of my favorites. And also the Galaxy Room is one of my favorites that you see on the VIP tour. It's one of my favorites. Yeah, because in that Galaxy Room, he has a symbol sprinkled throughout the galaxy. And so sometimes between my tours, I used to love to come into that room and just like point out the symbols that were in there. And it's a beautiful room.
Now, do they have is that room, is that the one where when I went through there, they had a picture of Andy Aloe in there. Is that still in there?
Yeah, that's that room. Yep, it's still in there. Yep, it's still in there. Yep. And see, they don't even talk about Andy Aloe when they in there, but on my tour, you get to hear about Andy Aloe. Wow. They don't even talk about who she is. You just see a random woman in the picture, and
they be like, who's that sister on the wall?
Exactly.
Wow. Are you able now? I want to say spoiler alert. Are you able? Do you know of anything that they kind of have coming down the pike a little bit that you're able to sneak share on that?
I do, but I'm not gonna say it because I don't want to get myself into any more trouble.
I feel you. I respect that. No doubt.
I do. Yeah. But if you go back, I'm the one people think they took the video down. I put the video just where I could only see it. So just because I felt like the message got out there, we got over 15,000 views on that video.
I hear you.
And so I was just kind of like, okay, the message got out there, so I just put it as where I can see it. But if you saw it, I said some things in that video.
Yeah, I remember. I heard. Yeah. You was kind of airing them out a little bit, but I can understand it was an emotional situation.
That sure was. I was mad. Exactly. I was mad. Exactly.
All right. Well, man, Ronchelle, I really appreciate you sharing with the fans, us here, your experience there. It really sheds some light on what goes on behind the scenes, what's really going on with these tour guides. I'm sorry that it had to come down to this. This is how, and as you already know, this is how a lot of these jobs do, though. They can be very funny style.
Mm-hmm.
They have their own sort of agenda because it's a job. And they just out,
exactly.
So on one hand, I can't be mad about it, but the game, you know how it is.
Yeah. Exactly. That's how I'm trying to get myself into it. Like, okay, it happened. And it's just heartbreaking because it was just something that I was so passionate about, and so, but it happened. So I'm just trying to get past it. I'm still so mad, still mad because I had plans what I wanted to do there. So still so mad. And then, I also wanted to say, mad about some of that backlash that I got from the Prince fam at that. So some Prince fam that ain't never seen y'all at Paisley Park, but y'all had something to say about me and something to say about the situation and coming in my inbox, coming at me all crazy. So I just hope y'all listening. And I said it straight here, I wasn't one of them crazy people just coming in there, taking chances, making risks. I did my best at that job and, and they still did me and, because, they got their own agenda. So for all those people who had a lot of things to say, I just want to set the record straight to them because I was just so appalled at some of those people who was like, you shouldn't be in there taking pictures anyway. Prince didn't allow pictures. Well, I'm going to tell you now, it's not Prince's house anymore. It's Paisley Park Entertainment now. So, and they had an approved area where you take photos in. And so it's sad to say, I like to say that when we have to introduce the urn, and the tour lot. And I would tell people that, even though his physical may not be here, his spirit is omnipresent, it's always around. And so people like to come in there and say, oh yeah, we feel him in this room. I'm like, it's kind of just a building now, and if y'all knew Prince, he was always transformational. Why would he stay in a place when he could be everywhere at one time? Why would he stay here when, he could be transdimensional at that, and it's kind of like, that he wasn't thinking in the, for the future, for the present. He was thinking about the now, so even though, okay, I'm not going to get into that.
No, you good. No, you good.
Stuff, but you know what I'm trying to say.
We definitely know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Exactly. You know what I'm trying to say, but, it's Paisley Park he's in now. That's how I feel about it, and that's how a lot of people who would come there regularly on a regular basis feel about it. It is, and I used to defend it when I was working there. They used to tell me how it was like Walt Disney World, just a money making machine, and I would defend it. I was like, no, they're trying, but it's the truth. It's the truth.
Wow. Man, well, let me ask you one more thing because you just brought something up about the urn and stuff. And what was the general consensus from visitors when one of the first things they see is that urn of his ashes?
Well, it's kind of more reserved now, so it's not sitting in the middle like it was before. So they put it back and they put it behind some glass where you can vaguely see it now. Oh. But, everybody is like, what? Like, what? It's unexpected to a lot of people. And for other people who know that it's coming up, it's very emotional. And it's like, that's what we had to deal with, too, on an ongoing basis. We had to, help others. We was a counselor. We was a teacher. We was a tour guide. We was all that in one. So you would have to help people, get through those moments. And those were some of the first moments. So if they did not get through those moments, it was hard getting them through the other moments of the tour. And, the tours usually last hour to 30 minutes if you had a VIP tour, So you was trying to be everything to those people to try to help those emotions. And that takes a lot out of somebody, but we were still in there doing it on a daily basis, running tours back to back sometimes, But that's what would happen when people would see that. They would be, very emotional, very unexpected. Some people what I hated is that those people who didn't care and they was just coming to see the play, some of those people would laugh or be very disrespectful, wow. And you had to deal with all that. You had to deal with all that. And that's what I hate. Like, people can come in there and be, be disrespectful. Like, I absolutely hate that, And say their little comments about Prince, and you can't say nothing back because you're a tour guide and you work there, so you got to hold your tongue. And so it's hard. It's like, why would you come to somebody's house and be disrespectful like that, you know? So, but those are the type of people that you're getting in there now, since it's open to everybody. You can just come $38. So that's what you get.
That's crazy.
That's what you get.
That's crazy. Now, I'm just going back real quick. Now, you can correct me. You don't have to say how much y'all was making. But the minimum wage in that area is about, what, $9.50? Is that right?
We was making more than that. We was making more than that, but you can still go down to the Burger King and make more than that.
You can go down and flip some burgers versus
and make more than that. We couldn't accept tips at that. We could not accept tips at that, you know. And people were offering big tips, and sometimes I would feel so bad because, you know, I needed that money. Like, I got to pay rent coming up. Or, you know, I got to get out to work the next day. I need that, you know. And people would give us big tips, big tips. You know, I rarely saw ones and fives, you know, big, and we couldn't take it. We couldn't take it. You know, there was always somebody watching, so we wouldn't even want to risk it, you know.
Wow, they was on their money don't matter tonight, huh?
Right.
Your money don't matter,
but it mattered to them, though. Right? Exactly.
Ain't that about
exactly? Our money don't matter, but theirs do. Exactly.
Face down.
Exactly. Right. So those are the things that's going on there now. So, but
let me ask you this last one.
That's Paisley Park.
But with all of the experiences, should our fans? We should still be going down there, right? Should we still go there and support Paisley Park and Prince's legacy and everything?
I say it's up to y'all. You know, for the people who haven't been, you know, I say go down and check it out. You know, if you haven't been there and if you haven't had that experience at Paisley Park, you know, and you haven't seen those places, go and check it out. Because, you know, one thing why I went there so quick and wanted to work there is because, you know, you always never knew. And, you know, you don't really know how long it's going to stay in a museum. You just never know. So if you can get down there, go and get down there. If you feel some type of way about it, you don't have to go, you know, because like he said, Paisley Park, it's in your heart. You know, it's not so much the place. It's the music and it's the, you know, it's the energy that's surrounding the place. And she was just knowing that it was his creative space and where he spent a lot of time, you know, that's what fuels that space. And that's what it was for me, is just being there in his presence. So if you haven't had that Paisley Park experience, I say go down and just try not to think of it as you giving your money away, because we do that to a lot of people. We know we still eat Chick-fil-A, even though they against all black people, all the gay people, but we still doing it anyway. So if you haven't had that Paisley Park experience, then go ahead and have it. You know, I can't tell you what and what not to do. You know, it's up to for that person to decide what they want to do.
Fair enough. I'm like that preacher.
Yeah.
I'm not over just yet. I got one more question.
You're fine.
Did the family ever come down? Like, was Tyga a regular person down there, and Omar and different things? Okay.
Yep. Tyga was there. Omar, he was there. And when they had that Purple Rain screening, even Alfred came in one time. I haven't seen the other sister. Her name is Sharon. I haven't seen her. But Tyga was regular. So that's the one thing that I liked about her. She was regular in there. You would see her a lot.
Do they have any? I'm not going to do the politically correct. This is my show. Are there any black folks in upper management there?
Not anymore.
Interesting.
But it was when Prince was there, but not anymore. Not anymore.
Okay. All right, Ronchelle, thank you. Thank
no
you so
problem,
much.
My friend.
Well, you know,
No
I know your
problem
next
at all.
thing is going to be, I love your spirit. You see your nomad. I was looking at some of your pictures, and you experience a lot of things, going around the world, doing stuff. And that's a blessing to see a young woman as yourself doing these types of things. Because we got to remember, we can get out and do stuff. We ain't always got to stay in our little city.
You ain't got to stay in one place.
Yeah. So,
exactly.
And I need that. I need that message more than anybody.
Point.
So that's what's up.
Yeah, that's my whole point. What I try to get to people. That's why I do it, because I want them to see more things, do different things, you know. And that's what inspired me to do it in the first place. It was Prince, you know, going around and traveling around, going to see him in concert. That's one of the things that really made me say, oh, okay, I can really go places. I can really do different stuff, you know. What else black woman, you know, lived in Australia, lived in New Zealand, lived in Indonesia, but I can say that I've done all those things, because I was inspired by somebody who meant so much to me. And so.
Damn, amazing.
Yeah. It's unfortunate, but exactly.
You rather young. Are you in your 20s or something?
Yeah. I'm 26.
Oh, man, you're doing it. You're doing it big.
I'm trying.
Wow, you're doing it. So blessings to
trying.
you. All right, we're going to get up out of here. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to hit up Ronchelle on the social media, where can they find you online?
I'm primarily on Facebook, so just go find me on Facebook. Just put in Ronchelle. I changed my last name on Facebook from Nelson to Ndegeocello because I'm free. Because, it was just a little thing for me because I'm free. Shoot, I can do what I want. So I was mad. I ain't want my last name to be Nelson no more. Yeah, exactly. I'm free from my emancipation, right?
Hilarious.
Literally. So I changed my name.
Jesus. Okay.
But my real name is Ronchelle Nelson, and I always have like a little premise that I'm kind of related to him because my family is from the same part of Louisiana that his daddy from, and those they could have just migrated up here. His daddy could have been a long lost cousin or something, and I hear a whole lot of stories of how like his grandma was the sister of one of my great aunties or great grandma, something like that.
Oh, really? Okay.
I could have been distant. So.
Shoot, you better go holler at your kinfolks and go get in there and get your job back.
Right.
We all we got.
Right.
All right. Well, let me let you go. I really appreciate you again, and we'll stay in contact for sure.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. Thanks for letting me do this. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thanks, y'all.
Peace.
All right. Bye-bye. See ya.
All right.
That's good.
Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Check out Ronchelle there. And check us out. Continue to check out the Prince Podcast. We got all the family here, so ain't got any other name. Everyone's here. Also, I need y'all, if you can, go on to our Patreon page and join us up. This new podcast generation. We need your support. We got a lot of special things that's going to be going on just for the Patreon supporters. So it just costs you $1 a month at the least. So if you can, drop that in the hat. Hey, work it like a job. Michael Dean, we'll see you next time. Peace. All right, hold on one second.
Then I say